distributed. And the first thing I want to look at is how many people were part of this list. In this case, it's 20,668 recipients. So as I scroll down, we'll notice that we have 0 orders originating from this email. And that's because I don't have conversion tracking enabled. If I did, I would see the value of this email campaign appear here. Now just below this, we see our open rate, and that's 25.1%. And this metric is just what it sounds like. It's the number of people who opened this email campaign. Now, it's not 25% of all of the recipients. It's actually 25% of the people that the email was delivered to. You see, emails can bounce or be undeliverable for a number of reasons. On the right-hand side, we see the click rate. And this is the percentage of people who clicked on a link within the email from that overall recipient list. Now, MailChimp compares this data back to our list average and our industry average, which helps us understand how this campaign is performing. And that list average is all of the campaigns that I've sent against this same 26,668 people. And we can see that that holds true for the click-through rate data as well. Below that, we can see the actual numbers of opens. So just shy of 6,700 opens and 1,300 clicks, how many bounced, and how many people unsubscribed as a result of receiving this campaign. Now, one thing that I often like to do is look at the click-through rate of those who opened, which tends to give me a better indication of how well the email performed. It's really not fair to look at the click-through rate of people who didn't open the email. The open rate tells me that the subject line worked. The click-through rate tells me that the content worked. So in this case, I would look at 1353 divided by 6696. That's the number of clicks over how many people opened it, which is actually about 20%. So that click-through rate is really effective. It means this campaign is working well against the benchmarks that I've set. Now, as you continue to build out your email marketing, I always recommend that you continue using your own tracking for the links within your content. You see, MailChimp and other tools are going to say that I got clicks, but it could be on links anywhere in the body of that message. It could be a click to my Facebook page, a click to my email messaging settings, or a click to the actual conversion event I was hoping would take place. That's why you always want to bring in that additional tracking data so you can really look at the true performance of this campaign. So in Google Analytics, I would have my UTM campaign against this exact email so I could see exactly what happened after I sent this email message out. Take the time to familiarize yourself with the reporting interface of your email marketing software. That way, you can evaluate the performance of each campaign and test new ideas to see if you can improve your email results. Content marketing is all about creating articles and media that in turn drive brand awareness, create new customers, and generate revenue. It works because good content is valuable to customers. It does a number of things. The first of which is answering a question. People are curious, they're research-driven, and they'll frequently turn to the web to identify material surrounding a particular question. In some cases, content marketing will even create questions people never knew they had. You might be browsing an article with a recipe when you come across a headline that reads, "Are you using your ice tray properly?" And you think to yourself, I don't know, am I? And before you know it, you've purchased a new silicone ice tray from a hip startup. The right content, though, is authentic. And if it does a good job of answering the question, it can sell without being pushy. Content marketing is also authoritative. It allows people and brands to establish themselves as authorities on particular topics. A carpet cleaning company might use content marketing to publish articles on the best methods for removing stains. They may even add videos to their articles helping to demonstrate how their method works. It can be a completely unbiased approach as well, but the fact they're sharing industry-specific information makes them appear authoritative. Content marketing also adds value to a customer's journey by providing them with the ability to self-navigate any announcements you've made in the past or sneak peeks to what lies ahead for your brand. The great thing about content marketing is that it has a very low barrier to entry. It's inexpensive to add articles to your website or leverage platforms such as WordPress or Blogger to build custom content. The hardest part of the whole process is actually creating the material itself. Good and relevant content will also add value to your SEO efforts. It's one of the main reasons companies are leveraging content marketing, and it should weigh into your decision of starting down this path. Your content marketing will likely be cross-channel weaving itself through your blog, your social media, and your email efforts. By producing great content, your business will help to answer questions, steer a customer's journey, and become a trusted source of information. All of this works to increase your online reputation, and that's never a bad thing. What type of content you produce and where you distribute it will be uniquely specific to your brand. Writing articles through the use of a blog is one of the most common types of content marketing. So I'm going to focus on this for now. With that in mind, let's talk about how to create your own plan and what elements you should carefully consider. Now, our content plan will start with the same approach as all of our other strategies. Identify the core audience, what you want them to do, how your content will get them to do it, and what you'll measure to know if you've succeeded. The tricky part with content is that it's most often a comprehensive approach. One article won't be the primary source of your conversions, so you want to think creatively about what types of content you need to produce. The strategy here is to keep things closely related or neatly categorized, so as people start connecting with your content, they're inclined to read more and more. You can encourage this by adding related articles to your blog, having a next or previous link at the bottom of the page, or by linking to other articles throughout the copy of each. One other place to look for ideas is back at your keyword research from the SEO portion of online marketing. You can start to think of questions and ideas surrounding those topics and reuse the Google Keyword Tool to identify long-tail keywords that are worth discussing. With content marketing, you'll likely be seeing most of your success in these long-tail keywords. And what I mean is, most of your blog traffic will come from dozens of different keywords like, why is my ice tray always breaking? What are ice trays made out of? Versus the short keyword, ice trays. More content means more opportunities to collect this smaller trickle of traffic. 10 or 20 articles that are moderately ranked might bring in the same amount of traffic as one decently ranked article, but in a lot less time. With that said, you need a lot of content, and you need it in a consistent manner. And this takes a lot of time. Part of your plan needs to be thinking about who will write the articles. Many companies leverage their own employees, but if you don't have that luxury, you might consider a copywriter or a freelance journalist. Stray away from content farms that generate SEO articles. You want to be authoritative and knowledgeable, so you need to focus on quality, and these resources aren't known for that. Plan on creating one article a week to start. This is probably the bare minimum. If you're using dates on your articles to demonstrate their recency, it's even more important to keep things fresh. As always, measure your results to determine what content is popular or trendy, and then continue to build around those ideas while you try new things. We touched on the mobile landscape earlier, but it's so important that it's worth a closer look. In the US alone, over 95% of the population is using mobile devices, with 77% using internet-equipped smartphones. And they're using them multiple times per day, and all of this according to the Pew Research Center. Businesses are taking note, and the trends indicate that a mobile strategy cannot be ignored. In 2016, US advertisers spent $46 billion on their mobile ad spend, more than double from 2014. That's an incredible increase. If your business has a mobile user base, it's an absolute that you need to explore mobile marketing. Next time you're out and about, take a look around. We're consumed with mobile devices. People at bus stops, waiting in line at the grocery store or on a lunch break, all likely looking at their mobile phones. Major brands are taking note of this and providing ample opportunity to engage with our mobile devices. Text a short number for a special offer, or scan a QR code to pull up product details. Companies like Amazon.com have built mobile applications that interface with our day-to-day life, allowing us to scan barcodes to find the products cheaper on their website. People are downloading a staggering amount of mobile applications, and in them, they're clicking on mobile-optimized advertisements. And most phones are now linked to GPS, so we have opportunities to engage with customers at a hyper-local level. Companies like Yelp have built-in reward-based systems for checking into local businesses. And native applications specific to brand experiences are commonplace, giving way to a new type of marketing. And these are just a handful of ways businesses are using mobile marketing. There's endless opportunities, but a great starting point is to duplicate your existing efforts, but tailor them to mobile. The internet was once dominated by desktop users, browsing the web from home or work, and that landscape presented marketers with an incredible amount of options and opportunities to be creative. Now that we've gone mobile, there's still those opportunities and then some. Things span across multiple screens, and it's not just common anymore, it's expected. Carefully consider your prioritization of mobile marketing in your online digital strategy. For most brands, it should be near the top. There are many reasons why companies should or should not build a mobile application. A mobile app must provide significant value to your users, especially because they require a lot of time, money, and effort to develop. Nowadays, mobile-optimized web experiences can often offer the same value as an application, so you have to be pretty confident that an app will bring added value to your marketing efforts. Now, apps do have several pros. They add additional exposure in new markets by being listed in the Apple or Google marketplaces. And they provide you with a new call to action for your advertising, in this case, a download or install button. Plus, because they live on the device of your customer, they're a constant reminder to engage and interact with your brand. You can use apps that are directly related to your business, or you can create a supporting app that draws attention to your brand. Geico, the car insurance company, pulled off a great example of this. They have an app that allows you to manage your account, pay your bill, and view your ID cards. But they took mobile applications to a new level. Leveraging on the silliness of one of their commercials, they launched a different mobile that allowed you to try on different mustaches on yourself or your friend. It was well designed, funny, and it fit with the whimsical nature of Geico's image. They branded it with their Geico logo and saw impressive viral growth. As you decide to explore the mobile app landscape, decide what it is you're trying to accomplish with your app. If your app is just an extension of your business, then first determine if it allows a customer to interact with your product or service in a more meaningful way than your website. If it doesn't, there might not be a lot of value there. Mobile applications require a lot of planning. You should create a document called a scope of work and outline everything the application will need to do. Get really detailed, as you'll want to list every requirement. I recommend thinking simple though. Your options, design, and interface should be clean, effective, and look good. Start with a small prototype or a minimum viable product. Don't try to pack all your features in at once. Instead, pick the must-have features and start with those. Always consider how people interact with mobile devices too. They're small, so make sure the features you're adding work on limited screen sizes. Now, app development can be costly, especially if you're looking to put your application on multiple devices like the iPhone and Android. Finding a mobile application developer, though, is much like finding a web developer. Do your research, get multiple quotes, and stick with a person or team who has demonstrated results that you like. Now, there are some self-service solutions for building your own mobile applications. Explore them on your own and decide if they're a right fit for you. A mobile application can serve as a standalone marketing effort, a tool to help convert customers, or as an extension of your business. It's one more resource that you can use to gain even more exposure with your online marketing. However, it's not a necessary component of your strategy, and for many businesses, this is something you can do without. As you scale up on your online marketing, you're going to want to start A/B testing your efforts. And an A/B test is really just testing one variation of, say, a landing page or an advertisement against the current running option. You can even A/B test emails, such as the subject line or the content of the message. You might even A/B test an advertisement where you try a different call to action, say buy now versus buy today. Now, the best A/B tests have only one variation, which makes the results easy to understand. If you want to do multivariate testing, you'll want to use a specialized platform for that. Now, one problem with A/B tests is picking a winner that isn't statistically significant. And statistical significance basically means the result is unlikely to have happened by chance. And to show you what I mean, let's look at an example of the results from an advertising test. Now, I've pulled up an A/B significance test calculator on kissmetrics.com. You can run a Google search for a variety of statistical significance calculators, or you can even download tools to run these tests within Excel. Let's say that the number of visits on the first advertisement was 600, which yielded 90 conversions. And in the second test, we had 900 visitors and 140 conversions. Well, at a first glance, version B looks pretty good. I got 140 conversions. That's a 15.56% conversion rate. So would we then expect that version B outperformed version A, meaning we can get rid of version A and start running all future advertisements using version B? Well, you'll see as I scroll down that the results don't indicate that the outcome is statistically significant. You see, there's only a 62% certainty that the changes in variation B are actually going to improve the conversion rate. Now, if I change these numbers slightly, let's say we had 160 conversions, we now have a 92% certainty. Now, in this case, Kissmetrics is saying it's still questionable whether the results are statistically significant, but 90% certainty is pretty good. If I up this to 180, you're going to see that Kissmetrics says that the A/B test is statistically significant. Now, each tool is going to alter the level that they feel is statistically significant, but 90% certainty is pretty good when it comes to most marketing decisions. Now, if you don't see the value in the neighborhood of 90%, then you need to run the advertisement longer to see if you can get more data. If running it longer still returns the same result and it's not yet statistically significant, then it's likely not worth making the change. Consider adding A/B testing to your online marketing workflow as a way to incrementally increase your performance. The web and all of its content is fragmented into incredibly narrow markets or verticals. Within each of these verticals, you'll likely find someone who is an influencer. Either they're an authority on a topic that this audience cares about, or they're entertaining and interesting. Influencer marketing is an incredibly popular form of marketing where the focus is placed on, well, influential people. It identifies that these individuals have influence over potential buyers. Influencer content may be framed as testimonial advertising, where they play the role of a potential buyer themselves, or they may simply introduce your product or business as a paid sponsorship. Influencers seem to pop up overnight, and they gain traction into markets through the likes of YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, and even the seemingly old-school blog. A celebrity endorsement used to be the holy grail, but now tapping into an influencer who speaks to a loyal base of followers is the real prize. And influencers attract attention because they're contributing authentically to a community of like-minded individuals. We've got moms blogging about their life and the struggle to raise children, reaching other moms who appreciate those stories. And then we have incredibly talented scientists crafting YouTube videos of a viral quality, and even an entire audience dedicated to a small leather worker turning out beautiful photos of his work on Instagram. Think about your own internet habits. Do you feel idle time consuming content from a person whom you admire, trust, or aspire to be like? Finding a way to interact and engage with influencers should be part of any comprehensive marketing strategy. Because as you've identified, we all have those people whom we looked up to, aspire to be like, or admire. And because we have that connection with this influencer, from there, whatever they do or say has an opportunity to motivate a transaction. So let's look at 3 key highlights of influencer marketing and then briefly discuss how you can get started. First, influencers provide social proof. What they wear, listen to, where they go, what they use. This inspires communities. They have affirmed that this product is something they like and value. People really don't mind being sold to as long as the seller is authentic and within their social circle. Secondly, contrary to popular beliefs, influencers are affordable. Depending on the reach of an influencer, deals can be had in exchange for free product or often in the sub $500 range. And third, influencers cut through the noise. Influencer marketing has proven to cure ad fatigue more than any other marketing channel to date. And why is that? Well, simply put, consumers want value. They get more value out of an influencer than they do out of an ad. An influencer outreach program is more valuable now than it has ever been. Remember, it's not necessarily the size of the audience that gets results. Rather, it's the quality of the content and the ability of the influencer to promote your brand in an authentic manner. But I don't want to make it sound too easy. You see, the hardest part of influencer marketing is finding the right influencers and then negotiating the terms of the promotion. And we'll talk more on that later. For now, start thinking on the power and importance of influencer marketing. Together, we'll be exploring how to find influencers and hire them. It's worthwhile to invest energy in adding this tactic to your overall strategy. Influencer marketing is without a doubt a powerful way to increase your brand awareness, drive traffic, and gain customers. But one of the challenges is actually finding influencers. Now, your goal is really to identify content that is being promoted by a particular influencer that is being seen by the audience that you want to get in front of. So you want to find the content, find the creators of the content, and then work with those creators to create content about your brand or product, and then get that content in front of their audience. And you'll likely have to negotiate paying a fee, exchanging product, or offering guest posting slots on your blog, or promoting guest content to their blog. Now, there are many ways that you can go about searching influencers, but one of the fastest and easiest that I've found is by using a tool called BuzzSumo. Now, BuzzSumo does cost money, but you'll find it valuable for both influencers as well as content research. Now, they do offer a free trial, which is what I'm using here, so you can definitely get started for free to evaluate whether this method works for you. So let's say that I've got this coffee product that I want to start selling. I really am interested in influencers that are talking about coffee. So I've gone ahead and set up my free trial with BuzzSumo, and I selected the Influencers tab here at the top of the page, and I'm on the Search Influencers section. Here along the left-hand side, we can toggle what we want to filter for. In this case, maybe we're not interested in companies. We're really looking for journalists, regular people, influencers, and bloggers. Now, you'll notice that influencers are sort of in a category of their own, but all of these other selections could indicate influential resources. Let's go ahead and enter in our topic, coffee, and hit search. So right away, I can start to see a variety of information. In each row, I see the influencer, and in each column, I can see their page authority, their domain authority, how many Twitter followers they have, their retweet ratio, and more. If you want to learn more about what each of these mean, hover over the eye icon. Now, when it comes to influencers, retweet ratios are important on Twitter. You can have a huge number of followers, but have very few retweets. So you want to be sure that the content is engaged. And of course, as you find influencers in this list, you'll want to look at their Twitter or Instagram accounts to see just how influential they are. Now, as I scroll through, I see a lot of brands, but now I'm starting to see individual people, which is likely what I'm looking for. Here I can see that he runs a newsletter. So I may want to add this influencer to a list, view the links they've shared, follow them, or I can even send them a tweet or add them to my Twitter list. Once I've found an influencer, I'll reach out and simply pitch what I'm working on. Now, the bigger the influencer, the harder it can be to interact with them. So you may want to start with a different strategy. Simply follow them on Twitter and start tweeting and sharing their content. Begin mentioning them when you share your content. Start replying to questions that they have and engaging with them. You're building a relationship. And hopefully over time, that relationship begins to pay off. And hopefully they may either naturally start sharing your content, or they may accept a message from you to allow you to talk about the terms of an engagement. Now, smaller influencers typically will jump right on a paid opportunity or free product. Now, when it comes to pricing the value of an influencer, that in and of itself is a complicated question. What I like to do is ask the influencer to show me analytic screenshots of recent engagements from content that they've promoted. I want to see how many link clicks, how many likes, how many views. I'm less concerned about impressions. I want actual engagement. And then you can look at the cost or the monetary value that they're asking for and begin to do some math around how many people are going to interact with your piece of content. I then like to compare that value into my other advertising platforms. Now, I know that the conversion rates of influencers can be very high because these are, of course, influential people and their audience tends to follow suit. But you likely need to have multiple campaigns with an influencer. Your product needs to show up several times. Oftentimes, a paid ad can work just as well as an influencer, depending on the product that you're promoting. So run some math, do some tests, but really get out there and start talking with influencers. And again, BuzzSumo is just one tool that you can use, but it makes it incredibly easy to start to find influencers. The other thing that you can do is do content research. So you can look for articles and then go see who's sharing those articles and identify if they're influential. So there you have it, the quick and fast way to find and engage with influencers for your next project. Thanks for watching Online Marketing Foundations. I hope you've enjoyed taking this course just as much as I've enjoyed sharing it with you. I encourage you to continue exploring the online marketing landscape. You can dive deeper into each of the topics we covered right here. Your next stop might be to dive into my course, Google AdWords Essential Training. There, I'll walk you through how to set up your first paid advertising campaign so